they have a chance to really capitalize in the draft, but that's a long way off. And defensively, yesterday, I can't believe they even got a stop in the fourth quarter when they finally forced a punt. Because I'd like to say those third and longs, they flirted with getting a stop.
Wait, are we talking about the Lions? Or are we talking
about the Lions.
Michigan State forcing a punt?
They also forced a punt.
Yeah.
Which was the first time in over 2 games that Brad Robbins had punted. But yeah, the fact that that they got a stop blew my mind, and those third and longs felt like okay, they've got about to, and then they hit a wide open receiver. They made it look easy.
It was, you know what? One of the things that was incredible to me. There were a couple passes that Tagovailoa made. I think one each to Tyreek Hill and one to Waddle.
Yep.
Where they were deep passes. And it's not only could Tyreek Hill have been 5 yards behind the deepest defensive back, but he was like 5 yards in front of the deepest defensive back. They could not cover him, period. And it's frustrating to watch, right? Because it happened all game long. But then I started to think, okay, is this what we can expect with Jameson Williams with that speed? That's the kind of effect it can have?
It's funny because I had that thought during the game as well. Tyreek Hill's just running around doing whatever he wants. Whatever route he ran, he seemed to be open.
It's like it looked like the Lions' game plan was just try to contain him. Don't let him get free for like a 70-yard touchdown reception. Don't let him get behind. Just keep him in front of you as best you can.
Well, then maybe we're being too harsh. Mission accomplished.
Yeah, meanwhile, Jalen Waddle
doing
his part too.
Yeah, I had that thought. Is there any chance that Jameson Williams can impact the game the way Tyreek Hill has? Any chance?
Yes. We're waiting, man. Take your time. Come back healthy. No rush right now.
Tyreek Hill had a 42-yard reception. That's fine. Hold my beer, says T.J. Hawkinson with his 58-yard reception.
Yep.
Conley Freeman with a 43-yard reception. Lions had bigger plays than Tyreek Hill had.
Yeah, but that Tyreek Hill play was like a 42-yard curl route because Tua underthrew it. No, and that's what happens with Tua. And I like Tua, especially more than Doug. But his arm strength is questionable with a guy like Tyreek's speed. He just cannot get it down there fast. He's got to anticipate more that he's just going to be open. You know, like he might be kind of covered right now, but once you launch it, dude, he'll be behind the guys. And instead, Tyreek has got to come back and make really good catches, to be honest with you.
Tyreek Hill is a backyard football quarterback's dream.
Well, this is
when you play backyard football, it's like you just go deep.
Well,
that's all you say.
The meme with Mahomes. F it, Tyreek Hill down there somewhere, and you just chuck it when he was a Chief. And there's some truth to that where you just
give enough hang time and pick out a spot. You can pick it to the corner, the opposite corner. Just throw it to that opposite corner, straight up and straight deep, and he'll eventually get it.
And Doug, that's exactly what you're talking about, Jameson Williams. Can he be a Randy Moss, a Tyreek Hill, where you just throw it down there, and he runs under it, right?
I'll tell you that in watching that game, it felt like the Lions played a lot of zone, and I
would agree with that.
And I felt like the one guy who actually didn't do a bad job was Okudah.
I kind of agree with you. It didn't look like he was locked in.
Am I wrong?
Anytime that receivers were catching it, that he was like the primary defender on it.
And that's nice. I mean, but it's not nearly enough. Okay, good. Yay. The third down, the final third down, you never know what goes into a scheme or a plot, like how you end up with this. But it was Harris trying to cover Tyreek Hill on the kill shot third down, move the chains, take the knee victory formation. That's not a matchup you're going to want. That's not a matchup that I think is ever going to work.
No, and I think
Will Harris, the safety, converted, nickelback, et cetera.
Hearing what the reports were, what Campbell wanted to do, it sounds like the game plan, what they wanted to do was be more physical at the line of scrimmage.
Yep.
To try to disrupt them before they get behind you. And unfortunately, they weren't physical enough at the line of scrimmage, and they got behind them anyway. Did you hear the comment? I think it was James Lofton who was doing the color commentary on TV, and he said, they were talking about practicing against the speed of this. He says, you know what I would have done in practice is I would have started the wide receivers 2 yards in front of the line of scrimmage to simulate how fast they're going to be because it's just going to get right past you.
I've never heard of that before, and I thought it was a brilliant idea. And maybe it's standard operating procedure in the world of football that's how you simulate great speed at the wide receiver spot. But when he said that, I was like, that's awesome. It's like with a shot blocker and you got a guy with a broom trying to knock down your shot when you're practicing basketball. I found that to be fascinating.
But you can't really chuck somebody at the line of scrimmage when they're 2 yards past the line of scrimmage.
True. But
my God, how many offsides penalties in that game yesterday, too?
All
these opportunities, and they could not capitalize to get off the field.
The Amani one where he lined up offside. I mean, did you see the down the line camera view of that?
I did not.
Yeah.
Dude, it's not even close.
What are you? The full yard into the Dolphin territory.
It's Doug, you got to look it up, and you're going to be like, how did you look down the line and be like, I'm good? Like, it's not even close, man. I hate the pre-snap. I know the coaches say this all the time, and whoever's doing the game says it. The pre-snap stuff is a killer. Like, you're lined up offsides, like by a yard.
Yeah, it's easy to not line up offside.
And here's I mean, I don't know if you pointed this out. He's looking at the ball. Like, he's looking back.
Yeah, I'm good.
The camera angle I'm looking at, he's lined up, well offsides, both his feet at least, but he's looking back at the ball. That's a high degree of carelessness. 248-539-9797. Okay, so they're 4th and 2, the Lions' last offensive possession. They're down 31-27, and it results in a deep shot to Josh Reynolds.
Okay. Second time they've gone deep. I think both times to Josh Reynolds. Or was it Chark, the other one?
I think the other one might have been Chark. And I think they did it again in another game.
But these are different times that they've had this 4th and 2, and Goff has decided to go
take what the defense gives you kind of deal. I mean, and is that what the defense gave him? And then
he was open.
He was open. The throw could have been better, but
throw could have been a lot better.
Could it also have been caught?
I suppose it could have been, but I don't know if there's a mix-up of communication or if it's just a bad throw.
Yep.
But it looked like Reynolds is expecting it. He's looking towards the sideline. He gets turned around trying to come back to it. So there's a miscommunication there, or if it's just a bad throw. Whatever. It's a bad combination that didn't hit. It's frustrating because he was open. But, man, a 4th and 2 call, and that's what you're doing. It's a little scary. How about the play right before halftime? Goff throws a bullet that should have been a touchdown right through Reynolds' hands.
Yeah.
It's too bad.
I mean,
it cost them 4 points.
That's disappointing because those two supposedly have this connection from their L.A. days, and he vouched for him.
And they do.
They spent off season together and all that stuff. And I before the season started, though, I always said Reynolds was given up by 2 teams in 2 years. Okay, he was on his 3rd team in 2 years, so I don't know what you can expect from him. But that touchdown, he should have caught that. That's a no doubter. I mean, it's a rifle by Goff, but he had to laser it in there, and you got to catch that
between his hands.
Yeah, and then the 4th down call you're talking about, miscommunication or not. If anyone should be on the same page, I guess I would figure it'd be you two.
You would expect to be those guys.